What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, newly crowned undisputed lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Devin the Dream Haney, who is now 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's answering the bell in the challenge coming from undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer, who at one point in time simultaneously held 3 WBA titles in 3 separate weight classes all at one time, in superstar boxer Javonte Tank Davis, who is 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 25 big wins by way of knockout. He is 27 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. With that said, Javonte Tank Davis, he made headlines ahead of his showdown with fellow stablemate, lightweight, star title contender in Rolando Rolly Romero, who that fight took place May 28th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, in which Javonte Tank Davis, as I predicted, got a 6-round dazzling knockout victory over Rolando Rolly Romero. But ahead of that, in the press conference, Javonte Tank Davis, he stated that the fight he wanted next was Devin Haney. He stated that Devin Haney's gonna, if he should beat, he's doing a lot of talking, and should he beat should he beat former unified lightweight world champion Australian star boxer George Kambosos Jr. for undisputed in Australia just a week later after his fight, then that's the fight he wanted next, right? And so Devin Haney, father, trainer, manager, CEO, DHP Promotions, Devin Haney Promotions, Bill Haney, they're answering the bell. And they're saying, okay, if Javonte Tank Davis wants this fight, then let's make it happen next, right? Now, I see a lot of people misconstruing this entire situation, so I wanted to clarify it. Because I see people saying, well, that can't be possible. Because Devin Haney, he has a rematch clause that he has to honor with George Kambosos Jr., that he had to sign to assure himself the fight, the legacy fight with George Kambosos in Australia. Okay, so the fight took place June 4th in Australia, June 4th in the States, June 4th in Australia, June 5th in Australia, right? Just a week after Tank Davis' fight with Rolly Romero. And so with that said, in order for Devin Haney to secure that fight, he had to sign a lucrative deal with legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum and ESPN, and he had to agree to a rematch clause with George Kambosos Jr. But what Devin Haney and Bill Haney are letting the world know, that they're only willing to honor that. They're going to stand on their square and be a man of their word and honor it if they can't secure the fight with Javonte Tank Davis. So I see a lot of people saying, well, how could they honor that fight with George Kambosos Jr.? How could they have that rematch clause? They'd be obligated, they're contractually obligated to fight George Kambosos. And so what Devin and Bill are saying is simply this, is that Javonte Tank Davis, again, simultaneously held the belts from 130, 135, and 140, all at one time. The WBA, World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, they informed Javonte Tank Davis that he started to have to make a decision on what belt he was going to keep, but he's fought at 140. And so what Devin and Bill are saying is this: they have to honor that George Kambosos situation at 135. They don't have to honor George Kambosos at 140. And this is where it's getting muddy. The waters are getting muddy, and it's getting misconstrued, right? Because I see people saying, well, Javonte Tank Davis doesn't fight at 140. Well, he did fight at 140, and he fought a guy who was much bigger than him at 140 in Mario Barrios, who's actually bigger than Devin Haney, right? So what Bill is saying is this: they can go up to 140, where they're not held accountable for the titles, right? They're not obligated to fight George Kambosos. They're obligated to George Kambosos to get an opportunity to fight for the titles, to regain his titles, not Devin Haney. So what Bill is saying and Devin is saying is this: that Javonte Tank Davis can go up to 140 for one more fight and fight Devin Haney it's a bigger fight. So if the fight presents itself to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, they'll go up to 140 and don't have to honor the belts, don't have to honor the contract to make the fight happen with Gervonta Tank Davis. It's a one-off. Not to mention Gervonta Tank Davis, he's already stated he has no interest in fighting for the belts. So he's not pigeonholed to fighting at 135, and he's already fought at 140, okay? And so here's the scenario. Let me give you this example. If you have a situation where you have two dudes that want to fight each other, right? One dude fights in the West Wing, the other dude fights in the West Wing, right? But one dude, he ventured off and fought in the East Wing at one point in time, right? And in that East Wing, he dared to be great. He wanted to accomplish something. So he went to the East Wing and he fought in the East Wing. Now he came back to the West Wing, and that's where he fights, where the other guy fights, right? But now the other guy has a situation where his PO and the COs, they know where he's going to be fighting. They're going to hold him accountable, right? And so he don't want to be held accountable. So he's telling the other fighter, you fought over in that East Wing already. So if you want to fight me, let's go ahead and head over to that East Wing and get it on one time where we're not going to be held accountable, right? I'm not going to be held accountable. You won't be held accountable, right? So let's go over to the East Wing. Let's square off. Let's see who is the best. It's 5 pounds north, right? You've been there before. I've never been there. You know what you experienced it. I've never experienced it. But let's go over there and let's shake, and then we could both come back to the West Wing and continue business as usual after we settle this score. And one guy's saying, well, I'm not going over the East Wing. I'm not comfortable fighting over there. Well, I never fought over there. But I'm going to be held accountable if I fight you over here in this West Wing. And you're going to be held accountable if you fight me over here in this West Wing. Because now, guess what? If Gervonta Tank Davis fights Devin Haney, let's say they give George Kambosos step-aside money, right? They offer George Kambosos step-aside money. They give George Kambosos step-aside money. Well, guess what? Gervonta Tank Davis beats Devin Haney. Guess what? He's now going to be accountable, and he's going to inherit the debt of Devin Haney and have to fight George Kambosos Jr. Right? He's going to inherit that. He's going to be pigeonholed to fighting George Kambosos Jr. Well, why would you do that? Because it's going to be anticlimaxing. Why? Because you're going to have arguably the best two 135-pounders. I don't think it's arguably, but people will argue that Lomachenko is in there. But you'll have the two best 135-pounders squaring off. And now the winner has to fight George Kambosos. Nobody's going to want to see that. Okay? Especially after the way Devin Haney shut out George Kambosos and won every single round against George Kambosos Jr. So nobody's going to want to see it. But either guy is going to be obligated to fight him. And now you're giving him, if you're Devin Haney, in the case of Devin Haney, you're giving George Kambosos 3 paydays. His highest payday was $1.2 million. He got $10 million to fight Devin Haney, and Devin Haney took significantly less money to get $3 million just to secure the fight. Now, if you give him step-aside money, he's going to be looking to garner, a massive amount of payday, right, to step aside. And then you have to give him another check and actually fight him. Where you could settle the score at 140, don't have to give him anything, are not obligated to fight him afterwards, and can still get a massive payday in a legacy fight against each other. That just makes more sense. And since Gervonta Tank Davis is saying that the belts don't matter, then why would you stay at 135 when you have a massive fight at 140 and you fought at 140 already? See, we'll hold other fighters accountable to these. Like we do undefeated 2-division world champion, who's the reigning WBC middleweight world champion, and Jamal Lyons Only Charlo. We hold him accountable for not moving up to fight David Benavidez at 168 because there's nothing for him at 160. Well, if you Gervonta Tank Davis, You're not going to fight Lomachenko. You're not going to fight Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez is moving up. Ryan Garcia has a fight coming up. Right? Then why are you staying at 135? If Ryan Garcia has a fight coming up in July, which means he ain't going to be ready to fight till November. If Devin Haney and Javonte Tank Davis come to an agreement, let's say they fight in September, right? Late September. Well, then they could still fight Ryan Garcia at the end of the year. Makes more sense. So there go clarification. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jaden Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.